Boom. Hey, internets. Had an email. It might have been an email or a DM to my Instagram, but this comes up kind of casually and then sometimes aggressively in different forms. I feel like it's like cricket. Anyways, in different forms. But this person said, my brand has been at a standstill for 2 years. Why am I not selling? Okay. The reason I want to bring this up is for a number of reasons, and I actually did a video about this relatively recently, but in a different way. So the whole birth of this channel is, I would give a lot of advice to people. So I'd be the guy that people would contact, and they'd be, hey, I'm so and so's friend. I heard you design clothing or work in the industry, and I just wanted some advice because I wanted to start a clothing line. Many of you who click on this or follow me now on my channel, on this channel, probably want to work in fashion, or you always had the idea of a clothing line. And then I've had, I think someone as young as 14 email me because they're in high school and know that they want, or at the time they're thinking they want to work in fashion, I should say, because we always, everybody's path changes. And before I answer this question, the point of my precursor is I just want to say there's so many different moving parts in fashion. I was literally talking to a friend of mine. We've both been in the industry for a long time. So at the point that I'm recording this, I've been working in fashion for pretty close to 20 years, right? So 2000, I had a business card that had my name on it and had designer next to it, so professionally. But before that, I was doing a ton of prep, trying to work on my portfolio, trying to work on concepts so that someone would give me a shot to be in the seat to design clothing. So 2000, so easy to do the math. In any case, in that time, I can tell you I've seen so many clothing lines go to the graveyard, and good ones, really good ones. Ones that were making, close to $1 million or just had a really good start. There's brands that I know could have done multi-millions. And they succeed and don't succeed for a lot of different reasons. So if you have a brand that you've been sitting on for 2 years, for 6 months, for a year, or longer than 2 years, there's always a multitude of reasons why it's not moving forward. So if someone pays me for auditing, like for a one-on-one consultation, which I do a lot of now, I'm doing an audit of a lot of different things. And so there's always a lot of things you can improve on, right? Like if you have 60,000 Instagram followers, then of course, my question is going to be, what plan do you have to make it 100,000? Like what videos have done really well for you? Are you following channels, are you following handles, Instagram handles of competitors that are within your space and trying to analyze what they're doing well? I mean, it's part of the things that just a marketing director does at a brand. He gets paid all day to create a bigger awareness of the brand. And as this is post-dating, I mean, a lot of that is changing where marketing and sales is kind of getting put together. And then they want the marketers to know Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop so that they create visual assets. But a lot of times it goes into, holding down e-commerce. So if you're running the Shopify channel for your brand, then that's still, sometimes it's getting pushed together as the job of the marketing director. In any case, what I was talking about is touching on different things, all the different kind of pillars that a brand needs to kind of keep running and those plates spinning for the brand to be at an optimum. A lot of times when a brand hits me up, the product is really bad. Like it's really bad. So it's free to look at other brands and to see, just as a consumer, as a regular person out there, you're going to see stuff out there from whatever, like the favorite brands that you purchase. If they have cookies on and they're doing a remarketing campaign, then you're going to see it all the time when you're browsing or just watching YouTube. You're going to see marketing from brands you've purchased from before or been stumbled onto their website. So the ability to see like multi-million-dollar brands and maybe more importantly, brands that are smaller, but they're putting out campaigns that are just as good. That's a high bar. It's a high standard to kind of meet. So after 2 years, if you're not selling product out, if you're making stuff and it's staying in boxes in your mom's house or basement or in your apartment or in your garage, it's time to take a really big look, because this is the opposite of proof of concept. I always say proof of concept is important. I just went back and forth in an email where someone was telling me, hey, I got an LLC for my company. Should I do the trademark next? And I was like, look, I'll connect you with my lawyer who's amazing for trademarks and does all my contracts. But curious why you got an LLC, and why did you spend all that money before you even sold any? It seems to me they didn't make any product yet. They just wanted to lay the foundation. And so that person was like, well, what would you do? And I said, I would just do a simple sole proprietorship. And honestly, even before the trademark, I would start putting out product, because once you get the trademark, if someone bites your idea or copies it, you can go back and do, a cease and desist and all of that. But you want to see if the product is going to sell. So if you're at the point where it's not selling, it's the opposite of proof of concept. You definitely shouldn't move forward with trying to make it a corporation or waste any money when any kind of resource. You got to figure out what the problems are and see what that is. And you also have to be, this is the toughest part, is just being honest with yourself, because a lot of designer run brands are more artistic than they are business. Does that make sense? Like they're not logistical, okay? They're more aspirational in a lot of ways, and they've become an entrepreneur because they want to do their own brand. And that leaves a lot of room and holes for places where you need due diligence, and you need to be thorough, and you need to not be an artist and look at hard numbers and those sort of things. So just giving you an example, okay? I've done a video on Menlo, and if I didn't drop it yet, if this one drops first, then look out for it. If it did, I want you to search it in my videos. And the guys at Menlo have Menlo Club, which is a monthly subscription, not clothing brand. I mean, they do everything. It's footwear, it's apparel, accessories. And Dee and Andres started that from starting a small clothing line years and years and years ago. And they've redefined it and they've rebuilt it so many different ways. So I'll do a feature, or I have done a feature on them. I've already recorded it. So check it if I've dropped it. But a great example of redefining and changing everything so that it fits within the current climate of business and economics, for whatever age it is. They continue to change the game. They're really good. They've been extremely successful. So that's one example of someone who's made it from changing a direction where maybe it could have been stagnant. And so it's extremely difficult. This is the opposite of proof of concept. That means things aren't moving forward. It could be your designs. People might not like your logo. If it's very, very, very specific, then why would a person from Paris or London or, Brazil or New York buy it if it's something very, very specific, right? So that's going to be a factor as well. So yeah, I just want to bring this up because it comes to me in a lot of different ways. And I just want to say that there's literally hundreds of brands that are going to die via the one that's going to make it. And so think about how competitive that is. So there's a lot of holes in the boat, right? And sometimes it's not the big things, it's going to be the small things. And to even identify and know what that all looks like is a lot of things to audit and look at. Okay, so just food for thought. If this isn't working, chances are there's a lot of different reasons why it's not working. But on the other side of things, I'm saying apparel is like one of the most volatile and competitive industries out there. Okay, so food for thought, not proof of concept. I wouldn't put any more money into it until you identify different ways that you could either move forward or maybe take that skill set that you've learned thus far and maybe take a break, or maybe just roll it into something different if you're going to be entrepreneurial at heart. Okay, hope that helps. Follow me on social media. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.